Hi, welcome to my channel. Now we uncover the untold story of the moon landing, humanity's first step beyond Earth. Introduction: the moment that changed humanity. On July 20th, 1969, millions of people across the world stopped whatever they were doing. They turned on their televisions, held their breath, and watched as a human being set foot on another world for the first time in history. Neil Armstrong, commander of NASA's Apollo 11 mission, stepped onto the surface of the moon and said the immortal words, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." It was more than just a scientific achievement. It was a symbol of human courage, unity, and the endless desire to explore the unknown. The space race, a battle beyond the stars. The story of the moon landing began during the Cold War, a period of intense political and technological rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union. In 1957, the Soviets shocked the world by launching Sputnik 1, the first artificial satellite. It orbited Earth and signaled the dawn of the space age. A few years later, in 1961, Soviet cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin became the first human in space. This pushed the United States to respond with even greater ambition. Kennedy made a bold promise to the American people and to the world. "I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal, before this decade is out, of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the Earth." That promise became the driving force behind the Apollo program. Building the dream, NASA's giant leap. NASA engineers faced countless challenges, designing rockets powerful enough to escape Earth's gravity, building spacecraft that could survive the vacuum of space, and keeping astronauts alive on a world with no air. Between 1961 and 1969, thousands of scientists and technicians worked tirelessly. The Saturn V rocket became the most powerful machine ever built, standing 111 meters tall and capable of carrying over 3,000 tons of fuel. Each Apollo mission served as a stepping stone. Apollo 7 and 8 tested the spacecraft in orbit. Apollo 9 tested docking maneuvers. Apollo 10 rehearsed every part of the landing except the final descent. Finally, in July 1969, Apollo 11 was ready. The journey to the moon. On July 16, 1969, at 9:32 a.m., the Saturn V lifted off from Kennedy Space Center in Florida. Aboard were Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins. 3 days later, they reached lunar orbit. Collins remained in the command module Columbia, while Armstrong and Aldrin boarded the lunar module Eagle to descend to the surface. As they approached the moon, alarms sounded in the cockpit. Computer overloads threatened the mission. But Armstrong stayed calm, took manual control, and steered the Eagle to a safe landing site in the Sea of Tranquility. At 10:56 p.m. EDT, Armstrong stepped down the ladder, leaving the first human footprint on lunar soil. Moments later, Aldrin joined him, describing the surface as magnificent desolation. Mission accomplished, humanity's giant leap. The astronauts planted the American flag, set up scientific instruments, and collected 21 kilograms of lunar rock and soil. They left a plaque on the moon reading, here men from the planet Earth first set foot upon the moon, July 1969 AD. We came in peace for all mankind. The two men spent about 21 hours on the lunar surface before returning to orbit and rejoining Collins. On July 24th, they splashed down safely in the Pacific Ocean, completing humanity's greatest adventure. The whole world watched. An estimated 600 million people watched the broadcast live, making it the most viewed event in human history at the time. Children stayed awake through the night, families gathered around black and white TVs, and nations that had once been enemies cheered together. For the first time, Earth seemed small, one shared home beneath the same stars. Science, technology, and legacy. The Apollo missions led to massive advances in computer technology and microchips. Li, satellite communication. Strong, P, Enfory, material science. And engineering, STRS, period. Docked protection, feel. Even today, many modern technologies trace their origins back to NASA's work. Beyond science, the moon landing inspired generations to dream bigger, to become scientists, explorers, and creators. Was it all real? The conspiracy theories. Despite overwhelming evidence, some people still claim the moon landing was staged. They argue that shadows in photos or the waving flag prove it was filmed on Earth. But experts, astronauts, and even independent space agencies have since confirmed the truth. Humans really did land on the moon. The evidence is irrefutable. Laser reflectors left by Apollo astronauts still bounce signals back to Earth even today. The continuing journey. After Apollo 11, 5 more missions successfully landed humans on the moon. The last one, Apollo 17, in 1972, closed the chapter, but not the dream. Now, with programs like NASA's Artemis and private companies such as SpaceX, the dream of space exploration continues to inspire humanity. Humanity is preparing to go back, not just to visit, but to stay. As we stand on the edge of a new space age, the spirit of Apollo 11 reminds us that no frontier is too far when we dare to dream. Conclusion, the step that defines us. The moon landing wasn't just about reaching another world. It was about realizing what humanity is capable of when united by a common goal. From Kennedy's vision to the teamwork of thousands, from courage in the cockpit to awe on Earth, the moon landing proved that our greatest limit is our imagination. As Armstrong said, it truly was a giant leap for mankind. Finally, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share this World History Facts Hub channel.